Around 2010, email marketing was probably the most hated marketing channel by advertisers. It was considered to be a spam channel. So much so, governments across the world had to pass laws to regulate the use of email marketing. But in the last 5 to 10 years, why is email marketing making such a strong comeback? All the brands are obsessed with this channel again, and if you research, all the big companies are hiring resources and growing their email and CRM teams. There's a huge growing trend again in the adoption of email marketing, and in 2023, email marketing was reported to have an ROI of 3600%. So what caused email marketing to be reborn just before its extinction? And why should you be serious about this channel too? That's what we will discuss in this video. Do you know who invented email marketing as a channel? A guy named Gary T sent the first mass email to almost 400 recipients in 1978. He used to work for a company called DEC who used to sell computers and hardware, and this is what the email was about. He wanted to promote their computers, and this was done on ARPANET, which later became Internet. And that is when email marketing as a channel was born. And Gary T is sometimes referred as father of spam. And by doing this, in the same year, Gary T generated a revenue of $13 million for his company by email marketing. And when the news reached to different people and companies and brands, they got the idea and they started doing it as well. But email marketing did not get much traction until 1990s. During 90s, when the internet adoption grew, in a lot of cases, physical mails were replaced by emails, except probably Germany, where they still send physical mails. Companies realized that they can virtually reach out to these people at no extra cost because sending email was technically free. And this is when email marketing as a channel started to boom. And it was during this period when the open rates of emails was high, the conversion rate soared because it was kind of novel to receive promotional emails from companies with their offers. And consumers were intrigued as well with these brands reaching out to them via emails and giving them different offers, and there was relatively very less competition in the inboxes. And as it happens with any other technology, some brands and people started exploiting this free marketing channel. And some users went a step ahead. They did not even have their businesses. They started using this channel for spamming people for phishing as well as generating affiliate commissions. And then came the data broker companies who collected all these email addresses and then sold it to other advertisers. And even some legitimate publishing houses like news channels and other companies sold this data to these data brokers, and it was an open market. Data brokers would sell these email IDs, lists of email IDs with different attributes like high net worth individuals and people who have school-going kids. And almost every advertiser started using email marketing as a channel. So imagine this, some of these data brokers had millions of email IDs and they used to sell it to hundreds of advertisers. And all advertisers would send these emails and promotional emails and advertisements to the same user. So literally, users started to get spammed with these emails. And at that time, companies like Yahoo Mail, Hotmail, and even Google Gmail had just started. They did not have correct measures in place to avoid this spam activity. To give you an idea, spam emails accounted for 90% of all the emails sent in 2009. And it was this time when there were a lot of surveys done and brands came to know that users were getting spammed by their emails and promotional activity in their inboxes. And it was this time around 2009, 2010 when a lot of big brands started shying away from using email marketing as a channel. And in the name of email marketing, all the big brands restricted their activity to only such publishing houses where the publishing house would send a newsletter to their users and insert an ad or promotion of this company within their newsletter. And this is the time around when I started my career in digital marketing. So I have experienced these kind of things, but these kind of email marketing solutions did not get good results except if there was an event and a news channel would promote it in their newsletter. Other advertisers were really not interested in this kind of marketing activity. So email marketing as a channel at this time was kind of dead and everyone was thinking that it's going to be extinct, except of course there was a rise in e-commerce platforms during this time and they started using email marketing as a retention and upselling solution. But without e-commerce companies, nobody was really investing in email marketing. But before we discuss the last nail in the coffin, which was governments across all over the world were passing laws every day regarding email marketing and the interesting turn how email marketing made a comeback, I want to mention our sponsor for this video, which is Sender. I use Sender from last 2 years and I have suggested Sender to few e-commerce clients as their email marketing solution, and they are quite happy so far. If you use the link in the description below, you can create a Sender account with a free plan until you cross 2500 subscribers or need to send more than 15,000 emails per month. It's a beginner-friendly email marketing and automation solution which simplifies creating email automation with ready-to-use workflows and templates. Creating newsletters, pop-up forms are just a drag and drop with pre-built templates and the flows, and the Sender UI is very straightforward and easy to use. If you're a super beginner, you can use their training videos available for free to set up your email marketing suite, as well as resources about email marketing strategies. With just few clicks, you can set up automated campaigns for like abandoned carts, birthday emails, welcome emails, post-purchase emails, upsell emails, and a lot more. And the great thing about Sender is it can be integrated with almost all the most popular platforms like Shopify, WooCommerce, PrestaShop, Zapier, and all other major platforms. And if you want to directly go with the paid plan or migrate, use the promo code in the description below and you'll get 20% off on all your plans. So with email spam becoming a menace, governments all across the world started passing laws to regulate email marketing by different advertisers. For example, the first of its kind was CAN Spam Act of 2003 in the United States, Spam Act 2003 in Australia, PECR in 2003 in United Kingdom. They all regulated commercial emails and forcing companies to include opt-out mechanisms and accurate subject line in the email. Then CASL in 2010 was passed in Canada, which again forced advertisers to only send promotional emails if the user has expressed consent for email communications with the brand, and the advertiser needs to provide a straightforward unsubscribe option. Then in 2018, GDPR was passed in Europe, which again had a clause that companies required clear consent from the users before they could receive marketing emails. And with all these laws, companies like Gmail, Yahoo Mail, and others started becoming very serious about it. They put in measures to control this spam activity. For example, if an email address was used to send a lot of emails with high bounce rate or less open rates or a lot of unsubscribes, they would completely block that domain from sending emails. And these things forced all the big brands to move completely away from email marketing. And at this time, everyone was sure that email marketing had its end as we knew it. The online advertising industry was, and in most cases still is, heavily reliant on cookies for all the attribution and tracking as well as targeting capabilities. Even tracking pixels rely on cookies in most cases to work. And in the last decade, there were three main changes that shifted the whole dynamics of this industry. The first one is there was a rise of ad blockers. The second one is
Google is shaking up the online ads business. This week, Google started a test that restricts cookies for 1% of its Chrome browser users. It's aiming to completely remove third-party cookies that online advertisers use to track people on the internet.
And then Apple released iOS 14.5 update.
What's going on? That's right. So since Monday, Apple has rolled out an upgrade to its operating system, which will mean changes for users of iPhones, iPads, and Macs. The new operating system will give users the chance to opt out of tracking by the apps that they use. You'll see a message that'll pop up on the screen for you when you open the app saying, do you want to let this app track your activity across other companies' apps and websites? And you'll have the choice to say yes or no.
And most of the users said no. And this changed the whole dynamics about tracking people and affected the attribution as well. And this all happening suddenly, advertisers were caught like a deer in front of the headlights. And honestly, there was a panic among all marketers, digital marketers specifically. And companies and brands started to understand that this is all hanging by a thread, and they need to redefine their strategies about data collection, tracking, as well as targeting. And after all these discussions, this was like a hot topic across the industry. The obvious solution was to have every brand should have their own first-party data which they can rely on. And all companies and brands started to move in the same direction to define a strategy how to collect, enrich, and activate their first-party data to have a sustainable growth. And this gave a rise to a type of platform called CDPs, or customer data platforms. Now, those are just like CRMs, but they have some advanced capabilities where they can track event level data and they can collect these audiences and all these event level data for each profile. They kind of get data from all your websites, apps, and digital properties and stitch it together and store it for a very long time. But these CDPs as well need one particular attribute of a user to which they will stitch all this information. And what were the options for such parameters and attributes? It was the email addresses, because even phone numbers change, but email addresses stay with the user for a very long time. And collecting email lists was a very obvious choice for marketers. On top of this, media platforms like Google Ads, Meta Ads, and all major platforms gave an option to advertisers to create custom lists based on these email addresses where they can even target their users. And once advertisers started building on these email lists, and they thought, okay, now we have these email lists, why don't we employ our email marketing strategies as well? Because for email marketing, the toughest part is to collect legitimate email addresses. And once you have them, you can employ your email marketing for free. But wait, didn't we advertisers just few years ago say that email marketing was a spam channel? Good question. As they say, every problem is a business opportunity. And that's when the new generation of email marketing solutions were born. These new generation of email marketing solutions, like our sponsor Sender, came to the rescue to the advertisers and handled the spam problem, as well as provided them with some very, very advanced tools. And with this advance in technology, they redefined email marketing and probably made email marketing as a channel which no other channel could compete in a lot of things. One, with minimal monthly subscription cost, you can have a full-fledged email automation setup, and using email IDs as the main identification key, it was easier to set up omnichannel strategies. Companies started collecting their first-party data for long-term use by smart solutions like drip content pages, pop-up forms, and these platforms provided an option to segment these users and audience based on different rules so that they can use them in a very, very efficient way. You can create automated workflows and automated email campaigns to increase engagement, retention. For example, you can automatically send a personalized email to every user on their birthdays. You can set up different kind of workflows. If a user buys this particular product, suggest them this particular product. If a user does not buy for a month, send them this email with this particular offer, and a lot of crazy things like this. A lot of companies started doing content marketing again for their email marketing workflows because it was a very efficient and free distribution. In certain cases, if you have a huge customer list, you don't have to be on the mercy of the social media platforms and their algorithms for your distribution. I know certain YouTubers who, whenever they post a video, they don't care. They create a video which they like, and for distribution, they send an email newsletter and their users go and watch that video. And to create professional looking emails is like a breeze. You just go, it's all drag and drop in all the platforms. And after you send these campaigns, the data analytics that's available in all these platforms is amazing. You can literally look at data like open rates, how many clicks, who clicked, how many inactive users came back from this email, and how much traffic did we generate from this particular email, and a lot of other crazy things which can help you to optimize your email campaigns further. And that is how email marketing was kind of reborn before it was rediscovered and before it started booming again. I have been looking at this trend for a few years now. If you ask me, I highly recommend every brand, small or big, to invest in email marketing as a channel. And if you haven't started already, you need to start it now. Let me know what you think about this. And that was all for this video. I will see you in the next one.